I'm Mayor Kirk Crespin. You know, we have so many people here tonight. We have a full session. I know we're going to have a lot of discussion on certain topics, but one of the things that we also did during our work session right before this meeting was to do an interview with the two different candidates who applied for the open city council position. We had Shayla Mata as well as Mark Headley, who applied for that position and went through the process to try to join the council. Now, whatever decision is made, both candidates were excellent and did well with their interview. Looking forward to working with either one of them. I hope that whichever does not get onto the council, that they continue to look and show interest into the council and continue to be a part of our city, because that's what's important. You know, I was talking in one of our, actually the chamber banquet, and we were discussing about how the city needs investors. Not just physical money investors. We need investors with ideas, new thoughts, new plans. Investors in our community that are going to sit at this council as well, that are going to get involved, whether it be the chamber, the Rotary, the Boy Scouts, whatever it may be. It's giving service back to your community. And that's the investors that we really need in our community. And I know there's a lot of them out there that go unnoticed, but we do appreciate that, and we hope that we continue to have that in the future. With that said, we'll start off the meeting with our invocation. We have Ms. Latir.
Father God, we just come before you this evening, and we'd like to give honor to those that serve our city, Lord, and that we would all have a heart to serve our community and to do better, Lord God, and to meet needs that we see rise. And we thank you, Father, for that heart of servant leadership, and we just ask that you would give us wisdom as well in every circumstance that arises, wisdom to make godly decisions and to do what is best for this community. And Lord, we ask your Holy Spirit to just reside in this place with us tonight and give us peace in our hearts, in our minds, our thoughts, and our discussion, Lord, and that you would just be with us. And we thank you for this wonderful town and for the people in this community. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Councilman Jenkins, would you lead us in the pledge?
Yes. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the time is now 7:04 p.m. I'll call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Joe Gonzalez.
Here.
Jerry Jenkins. Here. Kirk Crespin.
Here.
David Zavala.
Here.
Manuel Temez.
Here.
Brett Bates.
Here.
Rob Evans.
Here.
Kristen Swartz. Here. Lance Clark.
Here.
Now, we do have the agenda to review. I do have a couple of quick changes. On the executive session for item number 1, we had in there to discuss further discussions of the council vacancy. However, that was worded wrong. This will be changed, or I'm proposing that we change this to a conference with the city attorney for the purpose of receiving legal advice on specific legal questions, being the discussion for the city council vacancy and the process therefore. So we need to make sure that we're putting in there the change that we're doing this under the legal advice, receiving legal advice for our new council members, and discussing the process for appointing the new council member. Secondly, we would have item number 9, which did not have the description in the conference with the city attorney for the purposes of receiving legal advice. This was to have a discussion on ongoing litigation discussion with the council and with the attorney. So we need to make those two modifications to the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda with the 2 modifications to the 2 executive sessions that you just stated.
I'll second.
Okay, we're going to do this by voice only. You don't need to use your controller. So all those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of.
Okay, so we have approved that agenda change. Next item on the agenda is our consent agenda. We've all had an opportunity to review that. Oh, no,
Executive session.
sorry. For the next thing we do have is the executive session.
I'll make a
You're
motion to
right.
enter into executive session.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to enter into the executive session for discussion with our attorney to discuss the process to appoint the city council member. So we have a motion and a second. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an aye. Aye. And put your vote in. Opposed, same sign.
My system is not working. Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, so for those that are watching, we will go into a short executive session for a few minutes. If you'll have patience with us, then we'll come out and make a decision on our council appointment. So, thank you. We'll return to the regular session now. Next item on the agenda is to make a decision on Ward 3 City Council. Is there any other final discussions or any comments from the council before we do the vote?
I have none.
None.
I have none.
The only thing that I would like to say is, as I said before, no matter which candidate is appointed, we still hope that the other candidate will keep it in mind and stay involved in the community, because we do need future leaders and people to be involved on the council. So whatever decision is made, we hope that you do that. All right, with that said, we are going to just go down the list. We have to do this in open forum, so we'll start with Joe and then we'll move to my right, and we'll just go through and state out the name of the person that you would like for Linda to record as your choice. Joe?
Mark.
Shayla.
Shayla?
Shayla.
Sheila.
Shayla.
No.
Slow down, guys.
I forget you're doing it by hand today.
Excuse me?
I forget you're having to do it by hand, sorry.
Okay, so if I heard this correctly, Mark got 1 vote and Shayla got 5 votes. Is that correct?
Okay.
Shayla will be our new council member.
Congratulations, Shayla. So at this time, we'd like to have Shayla come up so we can appoint her into the position of Ward 3 City Council member. And we also have our municipal judge.
You need to do an actual.
Oh, we actually need to do the vote for it first. So you just stay there. Do we have a motion to place Shayla in as the new city council
So
member?
moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, now we'll move on to the appointment.
Real quick, I'd just like to remind everyone to please silence or put your phones on airport mode when you're in the council chambers. Thank you.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Shayla Mata, do solemnly swear by the ever-living God
I, Shayla Mata, do solemnly swear by the ever-living God
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the state of Colorado
and the state of Colorado
and the charter of the city of Lamar, Colorado,
and the charter of the city of Lamar, Colorado,
and will faithfully perform the duties
and will faithfully perform the duties
of the office of Council Member Ward 3
of the office of Council Member Ward 3.
Congratulations.
You're welcome to take your seat. All right, so the next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. We've had an opportunity to review the consent agenda. Were there any questions on that?
I had none.
I did not see any items that needed to be separated out. So do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as submitted. All those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
That was weird. Okay. Next item on the agenda is public comment. During this portion of the meeting, anyone may speak on any subject that does not appear on the agenda. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each, and that is at the discretion of the council. Is there anybody that would like to speak to the council on any item tonight? I will make one offer. We did have a public hearing at the last meeting for the liquor license for the Lamar. And I know there's been a lot of requests to speak to the council, and generally we don't do that. So when we come to that portion of the agenda, we will not be taking any questions or comments from the community at that time. We'll just be making the decision and having a discussion within ourselves. So at this time, if there is anyone that would like to speak for, against, whatever your opinion may be on the matter, this audience participation time will be your opportunity to do that, and your only opportunity to do that tonight. So you'll have 3 minutes if you so choose, and we'll take it from there. Is there anybody who would like to speak to the council on an item, on that item or any other item? Okay, if you'd like to come up, you'll need to give your name and address for our records.
My name is Deidre Smart, and did you want addresses 33715 County Road 12, Lamar, Colorado?
Thank you.
Okay, from our last meeting, I know when Jeremy, is that right, got up and spoke, there was some things that I wasn't quite sure on, so I just wanted to go ahead and clarify that. Just questions on what time you guys would start selling the alcohol. I think from what you had said, you were going to be having shows twice a week, or excuse me, twice a month, and they were an all-day thing, so starting like at 9 in the morning and going till closing. So we were just curious as to when you would start selling that liquor, if it was at 9 in the morning, or, you know, what your plan was. And then just a personal thought was, if you have all these other events during the week where you are selling liquor, if maybe you couldn't have the one day slotted to not sell the liquor, or at least have a certain time slot where some of the family individuals could take their kids and stuff, where there wasn't liquor sold, like at a certain time. Those were just thoughts that we had had.
Okay. Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to speak on any topic to the council? All right, seeing none, we will move on to the rest of the council meeting. We're going to go to the city treasurer's report.
Thank you. I had a few grants I wanted to update you on. We did get the grant submitted to the Colorado Parks and Wildlife for the North Gateway improvements. I was out sick, but Anthony and Tess did a fantastic job presenting our project to GOCO, to their committee. We had great news that it was moved on to the next round. So now the GOCO board will be voting on our project, and that is for the recreation master plan. So Tess and Anthony and I will be going to Denver on March 15th to be there for any questions for the GOCO board, and be presenting our case there to them for the final vote before the award is done on that. So those are the two that I wanted to report on this evening. That was all I had, unless you guys have any questions for me.
Council, do you have any questions for our city treasurer?
No, I don't.
Thank you.
Okay,
That's
seeing
all I
none,
had.
we will move on to the next item, which is our city clerk's report.
And I have no report this evening.
All right. The next item would be our city administrator's report. Rob?
All right. So I know we're going to add a few things at this one. You've seen a couple of additional reports here lately. When we get to projects updates, I'll give you guys some updates on some of the specific projects that we've had some questions on over lately. But first, we'll go down our list. The CML conference, June 18th through 21st at Loveland. I know we've been doing a lot of admin work on getting everybody there that wants to go. We've got Lamar High School Stadium groundbreaking March 18th. at 5 PM at the stadium, 14th Street, south of Yucca. So we're going to have a groundbreaking ceremony. The Cross Winds Horizon Comprehensive Plan, which I know is, we've mentioned a couple times about being our most, that's our focus right now, is making sure we can set the plan for the next 10 years. March 5th to the 7th, our outreach and flyers, the press release is coming out. The Pathfire Steering Committee will be meeting. Our Youth Navigators, which is the Lamar High School Student Council, thank you very much for all the participation and help you've been giving us and will be giving us. I know that I'm still having coffee with Rob. Find me, but it won't be until the last 2 weeks of the month because we have a couple of other things that are happening on Wednesdays. Let's see. And I believe what we're going to do for the next Common Grounds is we're going to be talking about our comprehensive plan. So we're going to get is that correct, she here? Yes, yes, we are. So
And that's this upcoming Wednesday.
This coming up
is our
Wednesday.
next Common
Yep.
Grounds. Yep. Okay.
And let's see, also, projects updates, okay. I don't know if anybody got to see it today, but at Public Works, we've been doing some additional work on a piece of ground that we bought here recently near Escondido Park. And we have, not asphalt paving, but if you haven't been out there to see it, we've compacted some really good millings, and we're gonna get some oil put down there to keep dust down. But if you could go out there and see it and see how much better this looks, and we got one other little section to do, but we've already had several citizens come up to us and say, thank you very much. The dust is kicked way down there. It makes it easy for people to go across. It's a great improvement, and it's like the next stage of things we want to do for Escondido Park. It looks great. So just so you know that Pat and those guys out there with Public Works is doing a great job. Thank you out there if you're watching. All right, let's see. The next thing we're going to be hitting is crack sealing on Willow Valley Road and Woodland Drive. And again, I put down here, go out there and look at that at the parking lot. I know that we've got 2 new parking lots to help out with easing of congestion. She mentioned for Parks and Rec, the master plan at the next stage, and we're almost there, and that will definitely dovetail and help us out on our comprehensive plan. The Escondido Park is a joint venture, so it's one of those things that is a city focus, and they've been doing a great job out there. The maintenance will be kicking up here real soon. We've got springtime coming up. Dog park, the planning has gone to the next step. We've got our equipment ready. We're going to have some maintenance and some other things we're going to have to do with that place out there because we're going to try and get rid of the stickers as much as possible. Stickers are very hard to kill anywhere, but we were going to make our specific efforts to try and cut those down as much as possible so the little dogs and the people who are out there aren't bothered by them. Let's see, IT is well, it's not significant, but at least you guys know, you guys have asked this question lately about some testing to make sure we're secure. Every few years we need to make sure, so we've got a couple of companies. We're about to make our final choice, and we'll come back to you allowing us to go through this, but bottom line is our pen testing is about ready to come out. Let's see, HR, the police search is ongoing. Just today, our last final revisions have gone back to the company for the posting. They had given us what they thought. We found a few things that they needed to update, but bottom line is you're about to see the posting for our police chief search, and I will keep you guys updated as the results come back, not only how many are actually responding with applications, but if they make any recommendations for the changing of the posting and the plan. But I'll be coming and keeping you guys informed and keeping the citizens informed. Let's see. Oh, community development plan, but it's our most important thing we're doing in the city right now. So the comprehensive plan is, like I said before, is our major thing. It's the one that's going to give you your left and right goalposts, keep you straight. Every one of your decisions should be to support this plan. So we need to put a lot of effort. Thank you for all of the citizen involvement, and we're going to have food provided. We're going to have all kinds of incentives. So that's what we're looking forward to here in the next couple of weeks. I guess the next thing I would like to do
Can we do any questions for the
Oh, yeah.
council before we do that? Any questions on
On
projects?
I do not have any. None.
Okay,
Thank you for those updates.
thank you.
That. Next thing I would like to do is, I would like to let you handle this one, but bottom line is I know that we had a city council person just leave, the word that you got to replace, and I think we have something for him we'd like to say. Thank you.
Yes, we welcoming Shayla here tonight, but of course, it's a big seat to fill, literally, with Mike Bellamy. He is leaving us as a council member. We didn't have time to get the plaque in before he left, but we do have a little token of our appreciation for Mike, and I'd like to ask you to come up. This is in appreciation of your outstanding service to the city of Lamar as council member for Ward 1. Mike had served from November 2021 to January of 2024, even though he's working for,
Ward 3.
Ward 3, sorry, Ward 3. Even though he's working for the city and is still with the city, he's in a different role now. And I really wanted to take a moment to show our appreciation for his work on the council. So Mike, we have a little plaque for you. And of course, your picture from the wall. So let's turn sideways here. We really appreciate everything you've done for us, and thank you. Enjoyed working with you. So. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Was it? Oh, reception. We're gonna,
Are we gonna do the reception before the last executive session, or?
Yes, we'll do a little brief reception right before we move into our executive session. I think the other items should go somewhat quick maybe. So we'll have that little reception for Mike afterwards, and everybody is welcome to attend and have some cake and treats afterwards, okay? All right.
and so miscellaneous, I'd like to introduce somebody, and our city judge, that I know that there's some new people that maybe don't know him or ever met him, but if you get up and come say howdy to everybody.
I will.
Yes, a lot of people do not know that we have a municipal judge, and luckily. But we have a great municipal judge.
Thank you. And so when Rob contacted me to say a few words, and I didn't really understand why, but then it kind of hit me that I've been the city judge for about 6 years now, I think. I've been county judge for over 7. And I've sworn you all in, but I think that Mayor, you and Ms. Jenkins were, I think, the only two on the council whenever I was appointed originally. So a lot of people probably don't know who I am or what I do. And so the municipal court meets twice a month on Thursday evenings at 6 o'clock here in this room. And we handle the violations of city ordinances and violations of the model traffic code. Some dockets are busier than others. Those are public dockets. Anybody's welcome to attend and watch. We're here from about 6 to 7. And that's about it. I don't know when my agreement is coming up. It's a 2-year agreement. I know there's a provision in the agreement every year that if the council requests, that I will meet with them in executive session to discuss court matters, and I'm happy to do that if you request to do that.
Okay, I know we had talked about that. We'd like to meet with you
Sure.
sometime. I don't know we didn't schedule it for
No,
this
we
time,
did not.
but we'll look at the next time.
Okay,
Just to do an update, and you can meet with the council and answer any questions that they have.
sure.
I think it's important for the public to know that, as you said, you really haven't met with all of us.
Yep.
And the intent is to keep that separation between the municipal judge and the council. We don't make these decisions. It's up to the judge to enforce those laws, and that's why we leave him to his job, basically.
And
So
I do my best to be fair and to do that, do a good job at that.
I appreciate that.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Thank you.
Hey, Rob.
That's it.
That's all you
I
have.
get to talk enough.
All right. So with that said, we'll move on to reports and correspondence from the council. This gives the council an opportunity to address any of the matters that have been brought up to them as council members, as well as to give an update on any of the council liaison positions that they're under. So all of the council members have various boards that we act as liaison for. So we'll go down the list. Joe, do you have any reports?
This month I do not, but in March I will bring one forth from the golf board.
Okay. I know Shayla doesn't yet.
No, I
Jerry?
don't.
David?
No, not at this moment.
I do not have any.
I do not.
Okay. Slow month so far, but we'll look in March and maybe have some new updates.
I do
will-
have, sorry.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
do have something to announce, and I can do it now so I don't drag on later. Last meeting, I mentioned about my two cousins who were hit by a car. They're going to be doing a fundraiser for Ray and Ramona Orozco on March the 1st at the Lamar Christian Church from 5 to 8 p.m. So everybody's welcome. Come out and support them. Okay.
Okay. We did meet, I think I mentioned it last time. I know we're working on, and Martha is working as the events planner with PMC and High Plains and our various partners on trying to coordinate our summer picnic in the park that we've done with Prowers Medical and High Plains and LCC, and I believe, I'm not sure who else, but we'll be working on that, and hopefully we'll get some more information for you in the near future, and we'll be able to get your attendance on that event. So,
Oh, I did have
moving on.
one more question. Sorry.
Last chance.
I would like to thank Rob and Kirk for getting on and having the city Lamar Light and Power Plant, Hussein and his crew, to lighten up all the community building area. It looks really good. Thanks.
Looks great.
I want to take one opportunity before we move on as far as correspondence from council. Just want to remind all of the public listening and watching that we know there's a lot of questions in regards to many things. The best bet is to try to talk to someone, and whether it's a business owner, organization, if you have questions, you can always go online and find the phone number for the business or organization, and you can have a one-on-one discussion. That always seems to solve some problems.
Okay. All right, now we will move on to old business. The next item is the further discussion regarding the new lodging and entertainment liquor license for Lamar Inc., doing business as the Lamar, and possible approval of the liquor license. During our last meeting, as I stated earlier, we did have a public hearing, which is part of our process. And during the public hearing, the city council acts as a quasi-judicial entity where we act somewhat as a judge, where we need to gather information and make sure that everything is done in accordance with the state laws for the liquor licenses. And during that meeting, there were some questions that arose. And because of those questions, the council chose to table this decision until tonight. So we did have an opportunity during that public hearing, as I said before, to hear from the community on whether they were for it or against it. And we did have a couple of individuals that spoke on both sides. And now it's the decision of the council that we need to make. But before we do that, I'll turn it over to our city clerk to let us know the results of our investigations on the questions that were asked of the council.
Okay, so there was a question asked regarding the ownership of the business that I stated at that time I couldn't answer without getting some further information. So what I did find,
Pull that down a little bit. There you go.
what I did find was that everything filed with the state of Colorado shows Monica Suffin as being 100% owner of Lamar Inc., DBA The Lamar, state business and sales tax license, articles of incorporation, certificate of good standing. So the agreement that was mentioned at the last meeting, she did provide a copy to me, which I have forwarded on to council. The agreement clearly states that Mr. Carter will become 40% profit sharing after 1 year of opening. With that being said, at that time, once he becomes partial owner, they will have to do a report of change to the city of Lamar. Then it will be forwarded on to the state of Colorado. So their application is a valid application. regarding the lodging and entertainment, they filed the correct application for it. Lodging and entertainment is what this type of venue would fall under. And that comes straight from state statute and liquor enforcement. So I believe I've answered the questions that were presented. Is there something further that needed to be
Thank you for your
answered?
due diligence on that, Linda.
I'm sorry,
I
what?
said thank you for your due diligence on that, Linda.
Yes, thank you. Council, are there any further questions before we move forward? Joe, do you have any other questions? Or Jerry?
I don't have a question, but I guess it was a concern, and it was during our last meeting when Jeremy was up there. I was, not sure if I was hearing this correctly, whether, I understand it, I keep hearing the word lodging and entertainment, but it also sounded like a bar at the same time, and after hearing Linda, and this is just my own personal thought, I was just confused to whether it is a bar or a lodging and entertainment, because it's opened every day, serving alcohol at their discretion, so it sounded more like a bar than it did entertainment.
The type of venue that they have falls under lodging and entertainment. That comes from state statute, statute 44-3-328, or excuse me, 428. And it gives the role of tavern versus lodging and entertainment. Tavern, the majority of your funds, or the majority of your income comes from the sale of alcohol. Lodging and entertainment, the majority of your income comes from your sales, not your sales of alcohol. So your sale of alcohol is a portion of your income, yes, but the majority of your income comes from the event itself.
Is there like numbers, like 60-40, 50-50?
It does not go that far
Okay.
into depth.
Okay, well, thank you for that. Thank you very much.
Okay. Moving on, Shayla, did you have any questions?
I do not.
Jerry?
I would just ask to see if you considered the time slot of family time from a certain time to a certain time without alcohol, so it can be a family night. I wouldn't stop your business or anything, but I think that would be a little more comforting to families who like to go there to watch a movie without the alcohol.
Okay. David, do you have anything?
Jerry just answered that there.
I have no questions.
I have no questions. I do just want to say that if you were attending the open interviews for the Ward 3 application, there were some questions that we had for the applicants regarding being in a position where you have to make a tough decision based off of something that you may personally have to set your own biases aside. This is one of those scenarios where our job as the quasi-governmental Liquor Authority Board is where we look at the application and whether the boxes were checked and whether it meets the requirements. And everything outside of that is outside of our scope of decision-making with this situation. And that's all I have.
Okay. So it is in accordance with what we have went through as far as the process. We have gotten our answers. Did you want to address anything before we, as far as the questions that?
Well, I agree with Linda's assessment. We discussed this as well regarding the application and whatever this interest would be. And I'm in agreement with her assessment and I know she had some extensive communication with the state as well. So I find that I don't have any concerns with the license as presented. And I would point out that any violation of a license falls onto the licensee. So if any point there's either a change that needs to happen, it's on the licensee to make that change. If at any point there's a violation of that license, they have consequences related to that if for some reason it was violated.
All right. Well, we have the answers to the questions that were asked. We have our comment from the city attorney, and I've given the council an opportunity to express their opinions and questions. Is there any other questions besides
I
that?
know in our last meeting, we did make discussion about storage. And so we had you sign our initial document, and Chief looked at it. Everything's going to remain as it was from our last meeting.
And Jeremy had shook his head stating yes. Is that correct? Okay. Okay. All right. So what is the council's pleasure?
I move to approve the new lodging and entertainment liquor license for Lamar Inc., doing business as the Lamar.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the liquor license for the Lamar DBA, the Lamar Inn, I guess. Does it, no, it just says the Lamar, sorry. Lamar Inc., DBA Lamar. So we have a motion and a second. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay. So now we'll move on to the next subject. One thing I will say, and I'm just going to mention it because I'd mentioned at the last meeting, of course, this is a 1 year at a time license, and I'm just saying it as kind of a precaution because I know it was a very hot topic. A lot of people had contacted many of the council members, and as council members, we have to leave our personal opinions out and make decisions based on the facts and the legal ramifications of this. But over the next year, it'll give the owners of the property an opportunity to prove themselves before it's renewed. And they will have to come back and do the renewal. So it's on, like our city attorney said, the onus is on the owners as far as any issues or any concerns that are brought up as far as compliance and making sure that they follow the rules. So with that said, we'll move on.
Jeremy, I do have one question. I had a citizen ask me, are you guys going to keep the marquee up there? Or I told him I thought you were. He goes, no, we keep hearing they're going to tear it down. I said, I'll ask tonight.
Marquee stays.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
So the marquee is staying. Okay. Thank you very much, and we'll move on to the next item on the agenda. Next item is to consider the contract renewal with the city attorney and Stearman Law Firm. We had asked to place this on, table this as well last meeting. And the reason why we tabled it is we wanted to have an opportunity to meet with Lance Clark, our city attorney, and just have any discussions and questions that we may have. So we have done that, and now we're bringing it back to the council for a decision. What would the council like to do?
I'll make a motion to approve the engagement letter with the Office of Stearman Law Offices to serve as city attorneys for 2024. Authorize the mayor to sign the engagement letter.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, next item on the agenda is Troop 35128 presentation. Do we have them here tonight?
Yes, we do.
If you'll just state your name and,
Our troop leader is right here.
oh, okay.
Hi, I'm Brittany Kerrigan. We're one of the Girl Scout troops here. We have girls from Prowers and Baca counties. 16 of them to be exact. These are some of our littles. Each year, they choose a project that they do for their community service. This year, they had a great idea after one of our older girls had saw a video of a guy chalking his driveway out so that when people walked by, they could do like a little obstacle course in his driveway. And so their idea was to have some busy activities on various sidewalks. We would take recommendations of where you guys would like them to go if you approve it, just so that the community as a whole can have a little more happiness I guess. Get your little kid out, play hopscotch as you're walking down Main Street, simple things like that. Yeah, it would be painted, so it would be a semi-permanent thing. It wouldn't be just chalk. Like, we want it to be there so that people can use it year-round. We do not know the life expectancy of that. This is our first project of this type of sort, so we would have to review it further down the road. If we see one that's starting to peel and stuff, we would come repaint it, obviously, because they want it to last.
Okay. I know we've done this in the past along Willow Creek Park, the trail. There's a walking
park?
path, the skate park as well. At the skate park, it's a little tougher when we're doing permanent paint because we don't want it to
Slippery.
end up becoming,
Right, yeah.
becoming graffiti or thinking that it is and people
That's why
adding to it.
We were thinking like main areas, so like maybe the walk back on 14th, that sidewalk where the
Loop?
The loop.
The loop, yeah, there you go, back
Yeah.
there where it's not like, and then maybe like, I know the Pocket Park has a lot of stuff, but like maybe around the Pocket Park area, like right in front.
Okay.
Mayor,
Yes.
just like to add that I'm not saying no on this one, but I think we'd have to talk to each one of the businesses since they're in charge of cleaning and maintaining across the sidewalks. So if we put anything on there, we'd have to get permission from each
Yeah,
one.
and that's why, this is the first project that we've ever done. Like, most of the stuff that we do is like little stuff. That's not really a permanent thing. Like, they've donated birthday bags to the pantry and stuff like that, like picked up trash and stuff. We haven't ever done anything that's gonna be a permanent thing, so, but we like their idea, so
Yeah.
we wanna try to make sure that they have a voice.
Did you want to say anything, girls?
You guys didn't wanna talk about your pictures?
You have any cookies you want to sell?
We have cookies that we could sell, but that wasn't the goal tonight. They do have 2 more weeks of cookie sales. We end on March 10th. Yes.
I would think that, with the permanence of it, permanent paint, we'll have to be very selective, and if the council's okay with that, we can give Rob the direction to help them find locations. But, if it was non-permanent, that would be a lot easier to find locations, but with it being permanent, we'll have to be more specific in making sure we follow the regulations with that.
Understood.
Does that sound good to council?
I think so.
Far
I think we
direction?
should look at
do.
a property that maybe takes less engagement with the businesses. I think the Pocket Park is one. The trail.
14th Street
Yeah.
sounds really good.
14th Street sounds good. Maybe,
There's a sidewalk on Beach where the bench is, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
activity there. There'll be a Cinco de Mayo coming up. If you were to put one on that sidewalk on
Right,
the south side of Beach Street, that might be an option. That's city property. So places like that where
Yeah.
when there's an event, they would see that and make some.
That's why we kind of left it up to your discretion on where it would go, because we have opinions on where we enter places and go, but there might be other places that with littles, we don't go, like, so.
Okay.
I know these girls, especially this one, goes out and rides her bike back on 14th Street, so.
Okay.
I think keeping it on city property would be the easiest way to find quick locations to get it done. And then the permanentness of it wouldn't matter as much. I am a former Eagle Scout of Troop 218, always an Eagle Scout. So
Right.
these types of projects when I was younger really shaped my future
Right.
and led me to where I am today. So I think it's a great idea to help these young girls.
Yep, we've got, I didn't mention that too, we've got girls from kindergarten through 7th grade right now in our troop, so 6 to 13 is our age range, so.
Wonderful. Well, it sounds like you have direction from the council and you can work with Rob directly to
You can.
find those locations.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you.
Next item on the agenda is appointment to the tree board. I'm not sure. Actually, before we move on, there was a question asked why the Boy Scouts were here.
Boy Scouts are here just to observe the council meetings as part of some of the requirements for some of the Eagle required badges. So the boys are here to educate themselves on how the city council works.
Civic engagement's good.
Civic engagement. Okay, great. Can we make them all come up?
Say something real quick?
Can we make them all come up and speak?
That'll give them some credit.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I know that you probably hear from your parents and scout leaders that getting your Eagle Scout will help you in the future with securing jobs on resumes, and it does. I can tell you from experience directly as an Eagle Scout that it does help regardless of what your career field looks like. It shows that you take initiative, that you can complete larger projects that might take years to accomplish, so keep going.
Thank you. All right, so now we'll go back to the appointment for the Lamar Tree Board. The term for Lamar Tree Board, Ms. Kim Van Hook, expires on March 1st, 2024. City Council Policy and Procedure Manual requires that all vacancies on all boards and commissions be advertised with the local media. The board vacancies were advertised as directed. One application was received for the position, and that application was for Ms. Kim Van Hook to the 3-year period. Oh, and for the reappointment.
Take these both together.
Oh, so there's 2 of them. And then the second one was another for Nancy Eidler, who also expires on March 1st. And the tree board is recommending Ms. Nancy Eidler as well as Ms. Kim Van Hook to be reappointed for both positions. These are 3-year terms, so we thank them for committing to the longer term.
Make a motion to appoint Kim Van Hook and Miss Eidler to the tree board.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay. Next item on the agenda, agreement to provide physical facilities for the town of Wiley.
Good evening. We have this agreement with, I believe it's 5 other towns in our area now to hold stray dogs for other smaller communities that may not have a pound. There is a caveat in there that if we are full or we don't have enough room, we can refuse the dog. It costs each town $20 every time they drop a dog off to us, and then that dog becomes ours. And we try to get it adopted out from there. So I'm just asking tonight for the mayor to, or for approval of the agreement and allow the mayor to sign.
How often do you get completely full to where you can't take them in?
We are extremely full right now.
Okay.
Every 3 months, I would say, every quarter, we're probably full and have to get rid of dogs. But it's not all the time, but since COVID, people adopted a lot of dogs, and when the dogs got bigger, they didn't want the dogs anymore. And so our shelter's been full for quite a while now, 6 months.
Okay.
I've reviewed the agreement. Other than updating some changes in language in there, it's essentially the same agreement that was entered with several other towns in the area.
Okay.
How many dogs would you say are up for adoption? What is full versus what you're at?
So we have 14 kennels.
Okay.
We hold the dogs, stray dogs we hold for 6 days before they become available for adoption. If it's a dog bite case, we hold them for 10 if they're not current on rabies. If it's a severe dog bite, we can hold that for the entirety of a court case, which could be 6 months. So it varies greatly, but stray dogs are 6 days.
Okay.
Okay. So we got,
I have a question. Just for the information for the community, how do they go about adopting a dog from the pound?
Call the shelter Monday through Friday. We have a shelter manager. She's there and she will walk you through. If you just want to go out and see the dogs, you're welcome to do that too. But anytime they want to go out there, they can call the shelter manager. We eventually will have code enforcement on the weekends also, and they can call dispatch and we can get out there on the weekends and show them the dogs.
So will they have to make an appointment, or is there regular business hours?
So their regular business hours is 7 to 3 right now, but we can do some after hours things if we need to.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
okay. Do we have a motion, council?
So, second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is award bid 44-001 for Main Street Flowers. This is initiated by Kristen Schwartz and Anthony Latour. Kristen?
Hi there. We went out for our annual bid for the Main Street Flowers, which includes the flower planting and maintenance. We have that set from, I believe it's May to October. And I apologize, what I sent upstairs to have put in the packet did not make it to the packet on this, so you are looking at the bid information for the first time, and I apologize for that. Rob and I will work on that. So the information that you're finding attached will give you what each entity bid. We went out for bid, we put an advertisement in the paper on January 25th. I accepted proposals until February 13th. I received 2 proposals. We held a bid opening on February 14th where the bids were accepted as presented. The Parks and Rec director and the city administrator reviewed the bids with me, and it is our recommendation that we award the 2024 Main Street Flower bid to Home Store LLC. They quoted the lowest overall cost. I've also put in a sample contract if the bid is awarded, and Lance has reviewed that. It's the same contract that we used last year. And it states how the contract will be paid out. So we're just asking for you to award the bid to Home Store and allow the mayor to sign the contract if approved.
Did the Home Store also supply you with the itemized bid?
No, they did a total.
Okay. But
They weren't
it's all the same
required.
services though?
It is.
Okay.
It was very clearly stated in the RFP.
Thank you.
And it's very clearly stated in the contract.
Kristen,
Yes, ma'am.
can you let the public know more or less how much these vases cost when we decide to have somebody who's going to go out and vandalize them? I mean, it doesn't have to be exact, but these vases are very expensive.
They are. The larger pots cost somewhere around $7,000, I believe, for the large, very large pots, and they go down from there. So, and the ones that are the circle ones, they're at least $3,500, I believe. And the costs do go up. We did get a grant last year to buy some replacement pots. But it's just they're hurting themselves. We did this to beautify Main Street, to make it more appealing, to attract businesses, to attract people downtown. We got so many compliments, when we started planting flowers in those pots, and it did improve the look of Main Street. So I think it's a very necessary thing. We do this contract every year so that the city does spend money to keep it going and keep it looking nice. So we feel like it's an important piece to our Main Street. So
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I know we have this bid process and, but I do want to say that last year was amazing. I think the flowers looked amazing and I know they spent a lot of time and effort on it to make it look that way. Doesn't look like they're going to get the bid again, but I know the process is here and we have to follow the process. But at the same time, I do want to thank them for last year's work because it was a lot of work and even though they didn't make the bid, it was greatly appreciated. So
Absolutely. And so we do have a process where we do give preference points to people inside city limits or businesses inside city limits. When they bid a project, they get a 10% preference points if they're within city limits. They get 5% preference points if they're in the county. Because we do have sometimes people bid from outside of the state even, so we're outside of the county. So that is in place. That's part of the policies that have been adopted. We want to support local businesses. And in this case, the Home Store is within city limits, but they also had the lowest bid. So that's why we did recommend the Home Store.
yes.
And they've been a faithful partner in the past.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to share my appreciation for the hard
Oh,
work.
absolutely. It looked
So,
amazing. So.
Council,
I'll make a motion to award bid 44-001 to the Home Store and allow the mayor to sign the contract.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any final discussion?
I would just like to make a comment. Christian, thank you for clarifying the information. That was one of the questions I was going to have tonight about where's our bidding information. You know,
Yes, sir.
I
Yes, and I
noticed it wasn't
apologize for
there,
that.
but
It-
that's completely fine.
Yep, I caught it.
We're all getting used to the new program, how things are working.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I also want to make one comment. I know LPI has discussed for the next 5-year grant period with DOLA, starting in 2025, having discussion about using some of that next 5-year funding to help with these costs annually. So that has been on the table with LPI, and hopefully it's something that they can move forward with.
That's good, yes, because in the past, the Main Street grant that the city gets, that the LPI board recommends fund, how we spend that money, it was a hard no from DOLA. They would no longer do flowers. They did in the past. But then because they're a disposable item, they would not support that any longer. So you might just keep that in mind.
Yeah, and
I
that's something
don't
we
know if
talked
they've
about
moved
is-
on that,
is
but
see if they've changed on that at all.
absolutely. And it would be worth asking for, and I appreciate that.
Just to try to
Thank you.
help alleviate some of those costs for the
Yes.
flowers. But they looked incredible last year.
Yes, sir.
So thank you for all your hard work.
You're welcome.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. We've had the final discussion. Seeing no other, we will move on to the vote. All those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
All right, so next item on the agenda is award bid 44-02 for annual fertilizer for the city parks.
So again, I want to apologize. What I sent upstairs did not get in the packet, and there is even a typo. Apparently, she retyped my commentary. So this is the fertilizer bid. So the city of Lamar, we went out for proposals, same dates, January 25th, it went in the paper, and we also direct mailed to all relevant businesses that have asked to be on our bid list. I received 2 proposals by 5 o'clock on February 13th. The opening was held on February 14th. The Parks and Rec Director also reviewed the bids. Staff is recommending that we award the 2024 fertilizer bid to Home Store. Local preference points were applied to this one because their bid was a little bit higher, but the other location is outside of the county. So we are recommending that you award the bid to Home Store for that reason.
So that would give them a 10% discount off of their, or just preference?
Preference points, you'd remove 10% off of their bid or add 10 to the other, however you want to do it. And it does make it a lower bid. I think it was $500, something roughly.
So the other bidder was from Webster City, Illinois,
They actually have a local office in Denver.
local office in Denver?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you.
They've been out of Kansas when they've bid it in the past, but this year they gave us a Denver address, I believe.
All right, council?
I move to award bid 44-002 for annual fertilizer and allow the mayor to sign to the Home Store LLC.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Item number 6, permission to apply for assistance to firefighters grant.
Yes, we were presented with an opportunity, and Tess and Jeremy will speak further on that, with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Federal Emergency Management Agency, and the Grants Program Directorate. And this is directly, they give funding to enhance the safety of firefighters and the public through their grant program. So this is something that we've applied for in the past many times and haven't gotten. We've applied for fire trucks and some equipment on different occasions and haven't been awarded the grant, but we'd like to try it again this year. We've kind of scaled back our request a little bit. The fire chief has identified a need for radios for his department. So I will let Tess and Jeremy take it from there.
The only thing I have to add from what Kristen said is based off of our
service area and the need, our match will only be 5%, and the estimated cost Jeremy provided was $65,000, so approximately $3,200 in match.
That it? Right, so the need is gonna be the radios. And after talking with our vendor now, he stated that these radios are about like computers anymore. You gotta sit there and replace them about every 10 years. And that's about where we're sitting at on about half of our inventory right now. They're getting end of service, end of life, where we're gonna go ahead and need to bounce up another 10 to sit there and move forward. If you remember back during COVID, we did receive some COVID monies to buy 19 at the time. So this will help augment the 19 that we have already and the few that are going end of life.
Some of them, they won't replace the dials. They won't, there's some parts.
Right, there's
tops.
individual pieces of parts that are having issues right now. Plus the supply chain stuff. I mean, it's,
So the 65,000 would give us 10 more radios.
Do you budget for those grant matches?
for the grant matches right now, we do have, for that small of a grant match we can make up in an equipment line item. Or Kristen self-identified some funds for that.
So this will come directly out of your budget, and it's not something we're gonna have to come up with?
Correct.
Okay. Those are expensive radios.
Right, about 6,000 apiece.
Yeah, that's correct,
A little
yes.
over, yeah. But then again, whenever it comes to the radio, I hate to always give the demonstration, but you can like that, and there's not an issue. So.
Now the dial's broken.
Now the dial.
But yeah, and whenever you need that ruggedness in the fires, I mean, a prime example is during our cold snap and we had ice everywhere. People, I mean, you can't emulate that well and you'll fall. You'll fall on your radio will slip off and fall. So I mean, the ruggedness is where it's all at, especially being a mission critical piece of equipment that we need.
So after these 10 that will be updated, how many more will you need to be updated?
So
The other 19?
The other 19, but that'll be, again, quite a few years down the road to get that.
Something that we can budget in.
Right, correct. Either budget or reapply for a new grant.
Okay. What is the lifespan on those? Sorry if you
So
mentioned.
lifespan, so this one, whenever we got into this model, had already been on the market for 10 years, so it's about a 15-year to 20-year radio.
Okay.
So, and this one here is right at 12 years old, I believe.
Okay.
So,
Are there other radios that are comparable to what you need from it that might be less so we can try to get more out of this grant?
so not really. So this one is a very highly specialized radio. When it comes to the environments that we operate in, it is what they consider a HAZLOC. It's FM certified. So I can go into a flammable environment and key up on my radio and not ignite the gases that are around me. Typically when you talk about gas leaks at your home, you're not supposed to flip light switches. Hopefully your coffee maker doesn't kick on. This, I can still communicate in toxic and highly flammable environments and not blow us up.
Okay.
So, yep.
Okay, thank you for that. That does make a big difference.
Yeah, most definitely.
For explaining it, yes.
So
Okay.
this grant application is due March 8th. So if you give us permission, we'll go ahead and work with Jeremy Tesswell and we'll get this submitted by.
And this is for the authorization to apply for this grant. They'll need to bring it back to, if they are awarded it, for acceptance of that. So just so the council knows the process.
And authorize the mayor to sign if required on the.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to let staff apply for the grant and let mayor sign off on it,
Second.
if required.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Let's see, then we also have ordinance first reading. This is an ordinance for the city of Lamar, Colorado, stating the intent of the city of Lamar for adopting the 2018 edition of the International Residential Code with amendments. It's initiated by Stephanie Strube. Stephanie, would you
Yes.
like to speak on it?
Absolutely. So on July 12th of 2021, the codes were updated to reflect the 2018, where they used to be the 2006 edition. At that time, the amendments were not looked at and brought forward with that moving forward. So if you look at our Lamar Municipal Code, all the amendments that were in there were listed from the 2006. So if you go to look at the book, they didn't match up. So what we had to do, planning and zoning met, and we made sure that we updated each chapter and section that the amendments belong to. So it's really, nothing has changed other than now you can find it in the correct place, is how I would say that. It is 4 pages long, and I do assume, Lance, I do have to read it all, correct?
Yes.
Because we did discuss it a little bit. So if you're all ready, I'll go ahead and read the 4 pages. An ordinance amending Article 2 of Chapter 6 of the Lamar Municipal Code to adopt the 2018 edition of the International Residential Code with amendments. Whereas the International Code Council Incorporated has issued a 2018 edition of the International Residential Code, and whereas on July 26 of 2021, the City Council of the City of Lamar adopted the 2018 edition of the International Residential Code. However, Chapter 6, Article 2, Division 7, Section 6-184 was not amended to reflect the changes in the 2018 edition. And whereas the City Council of the City of Lamar, Colorado desires to repeal and amend Section 6-184 to reflect the necessary changes since adoption of the 2018 edition of the International Residential Code with amendments. For application within corporate limits of the City of Lamar, Colorado, and for application to property owned by the city outside the city's corporate limits. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Lamar, Colorado. Part 1, that Chapter 6, Article 2, Division 7, Section 6-184 of the Lamar Municipal Body is hereby repealed in its entirety and replaced to read as follows. Section 6-184 amendments. The code adopted herein is hereby modified by the following amendments. Number 1, Section R101.1 title is amending by inserting the City of Lamar. 2, Section R104.5 identification is deleted in its entirety. 3, Section R105.2 work exempt from permit is amended by replacing 24 with 48 in paragraph 7. 4, Section R106.3.1, approval of construction documents is amended by inserting a period after approved and deleting the rest of the paragraph. 5, Section R107.3, temporary power is amended by replacing ICC electrical code with current electrical code adopted by the state of Colorado. 6, Section R110.3, certificate issued is amended by deleting paragraphs 4, 7, and 8. 7, Section R301.2, climate and geographical design criteria is amended by adding the following. Ground snow load 30 pounds, wind speed 110 miles per hour, seismic design category B, subject to damage from weathering is severe, frost depth is 36 inches, termites are moderate to heavy, winter design temperature is 5 degrees Fahrenheit. Ice barrier underlayment requirement, yes. Flood hazards, November 17th, 1982. Mean annual temperature, 53.1 Fahrenheit. 8, Table R301.5, minimum uniformly distributed live load sleeping rooms is amended by replacing 30 with 40. 9, Section R309.2, separation requirement is amended by replacing half-inch with 5/8 inch type X. 10, Section 309.5 fire sprinklers is deleted in its entirety. 11, Section R317.2 ground contact is amended by deletion of the section and replacing it with the following. All wood in contact with the ground shall be approved pressure preservative treated wood suitable for ground contact use, except untreated wood may be used where entirely below groundwater level or continuously submerged in fresh water. 12, Section R317.1.4 wood columns is amended by deleting exceptions 1 and 2. 13, Section R318.1.2 field treatment is deleted in its entirety. 14, Section R401.1 application is amended by inserting the sentence wood foundations are not allowed at the end of the section. 15, Section R402.1 wood foundations is deleted in its entirety. 16, Section R405.2 wood foundations is deleted in its entirety. 17, Section R504 pressure preservative treated wood floors on ground is deleted in its entirety. 18, Chapter 11, Energy Efficiency is deleted in its entirety and replaced by the following. All new and remodeled structures will have a minimum of R13 insulation in the walls and R30 in the ceilings. Window will be the thermal type, and exterior doors will have storm doors or will be of the insulated type, which includes solid core doors. 19, Section GR4 to 5.8, equipment not required to be vented is amended by the deletion of paragraph 7. 20, Section G2445, unvented room heaters is deleted in its entirety. 21, Section P2603.5.1, sewer depth is amended by inserting 12 inches. 22, Chapter 34, general requirements is deleted in its entirety. 23, Chapter 35, electrical definitions is deleted in its entirety. 24, Chapter 36, services is deleted in its entirety. 25, Chapter 37, branch circuit and feeder requirements is deleted in its entirety. 26, Chapter 38, wiring methods is deleted in its entirety. 27, Chapter 39, power and lighting distribution is deleted in its entirety. 28, Chapter 40, devices and luminaries is deleted in its entirety. 30, Chapter 42, swimming pools is deleted in its entirety. 31, Chapter 43, Class 2, remote control signaling and power limited circuits is deleted in its entirety. 32, Chapter 44, reference standards is amended by deleting ICC EC-06, ICC electrical code, and replacing it with the electrical code adopted by the state of Colorado. 33, Appendix A, sizing and capacities of gas piping is deleted in its entirety. 34, Appendix B, sizing of venting systems servicing appliances equipped with draft hoods. Category 1, appliances and appliances listed for use with Type B vents is deleted in its entirety. 35, Appendix C, exit terminals of mechanical draft and direct vent venting system is deleted in its entirety. 36, Appendix D, recommended procedure for safety inspection of an existing appliance installation is deleted in its entirety. 37, Appendix E, manufactured housing used as dwelling units is deleted in its entirety. 38, Appendix F, radon control method is deleted in its entirety. 39, Appendix I, private sewage disposal is deleted in its entirety. 40, Appendix L, permit fees is deleted in its entirety. 41, Appendix M, home daycare, R3 occupancy is deleted in its entirety. 42, Appendix N, vending methods is deleted in its entirety. 43, Appendix O, automatic vehicular gate is deleted in its entirety. 44, Appendix P, sizing of water piping system is deleted in its entirety. 45, Appendix Q, tiny houses is deleted in its entirety. 46, Appendix R, light straw clay construction is deleted in its entirety. 47, Appendix S, straw bale construction is deleted in its entirety. B, the cumulative supplement to the International Residential Code is hereby adopted within the city. Part 2, repealer, all ordinances, resolutions, bylaws, and regulations of the city ordinance are hereby repealed to the extent only of such inconsistency. This repealer shall not be constructed to revive any ordinance, resolution, bylaw, or regulation or part thereof heretofore repealed. Part 3, servability. If any section, paragraph, clause, or provision of this ordinance shall be held invalid or unenforceable, the validity or unenforceability of such section, paragraph, clause, or provisions shall not affect any other provisions of this ordinance. Part 4, effective date. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect 30 days after publication following final passage and adoption.
Okay, so that is the ordinance in first reading for Shayla and those that are watching. Any of our ordinances that are created or presented to the council need to be read on first reading as well as second reading before the council can vote. So tonight we will be voting on the first reading. Do we have a motion, council?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve this ordinance on its first reading. Any questions?
And order to publish.
And order published.
And order published. So we would need that in the motion. Are you good with the change?
Yes.
Are you good with the motion?
Yep.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve it on the first reading and order published. All those in favor signify with an aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Manuel?
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay,
Thank you, guys.
thank you for reading that. Next item on the agenda is miscellaneous items. Are there any miscellaneous items that we need to discuss before we move? Sorry?
Cake.
Cake.
I also
We,
just want to thank Mike again for your service on city council. It was a pleasure working with you.
I would like to thank the Vail Board and the chief for getting us those speed signs for Oak. And then when they're done with the construction, she said they'll purchase another one for south of me. But thanks a lot.
Yay. And then there was a question online of somebody asking where the dog park would be located at.
Right now, the plan is North Gateway Park.
Okay. So North Gateway Park. All right, so with that said, we will be moving into an executive session for conference with the city attorney for the purposes of receiving legal advice on specific legal questions under Colorado Revised Statutes 246402, subsection 4, subsection B. This would be for ongoing litigation discussion with the council. There will be no decisions coming out of the executive session. So immediately following the executive session, we will adjourn the meeting. So with that said, do we have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Thank you all for attending tonight, and we look forward to seeing you at the next meeting on Monday, March 11th, 2024 at 7 p.m. One last note is we will be having our Common Grounds meeting on Wednesday. That would be the 2nd of March. I think it's 2nd.
Yeah, not the after March.
Second. It's not the second.
No.
What's the
The 6th, okay, so it'd be the 6th.
Next week.
So the first Wednesday of each month, we do have the Common Grounds at 7 a.m. downstairs in the Cultural Event Center. I encourage you all to come and get involved and find out what's happening in your city. Thank you very much. Have a good night.